the messages were sent to 7 existing churches which were to witness the events. Okay? So the messages were sent to 7 existing churches. Now, I was told that these 7 churches are really 7 church ages, not 7 actual churches. That is what I was told. But let's see if that is what the Revelation says. Okay? So let's read verse 11. Revelation 1 verse 11. So let's go to the Bible and read verse 11. So here John hears the voice of Christ saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. What thou seest, write in a book and send it unto the 7 churches which are. So these are churches which actually existed. 7 churches which are in Asia. Unto Ephesus. Now, Ephesus, we have a book which Paul in the New Testament wrote to Ephesus. It's called the Paul's letter to the Ephesians. Okay, that's in your New Testament. So these were real churches. They were not symbolic churches. Unto Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamos, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, and Laodicea. These 7 churches actually existed at the time John wrote the vision. And he was instructed to send the vision to these 7 churches which were existing at that time. All right? Now, if we go to verse 19 now, verse 19, and look what it says. Write the things which thou hast seen, and the things which are, and the things which shall be hereafter. So, in this revelation, the 7 churches would receive information concerning the things which were presently happening, and they would receive information on the things which shall be hereafter. Now, the way that the King James words this, you could easily be misled. Because when you go to a literal translation, like the Berean literal Bible, look what it says. Therefore, write the things that you have seen, okay? The things that are, which at that time was occurring, and the things that are about to take place after these. Now, that's a whole different, that gives a whole different understanding. Because the way the King James put it, the things that will occur hereafter, that seems like it could be 100 years later, 200 years later, 300 years later, 1,000 years later, 2,000 years later. But the way the Greek has it is that those things were about to take place. So it does not give the idea that these things were to take place thousands of years later. So we are seeing in the very first chapter of Revelation, it absolutely destroys every Revelation narrative that I have heard of, especially those coming from the mainstream denominations, because every one of them have these things happening far off into the future. But according to the instruction given to John and through John, the things were to let the 7 churches know what was happening and what was about to happen.